Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
Celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7. I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
That's right, folks. Order now. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. Josh here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. It is Wednesday, November 12th. How time's flying. Man, my oldest boy's birthday's in 2 days. That's crazy. How time flies. He's going to be 24? See. Yeah, 24 years old. Wow. Man, how time flies. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Thank you all for tuning in. If you would, please hit that like button, hit that share button. Let's push this out. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. We got Democrats with another big one today. They got them this time. Democrats released old emails and redacted the name to make it look like it wasn't, that this could be a victim that Trump sexually assaulted. It was Virginia Guffrey, who already wrote in a book, who already came out on record and said that Trump was a gentleman, never touched her. But Democrats need something. Why? The government could open back up tonight, thanks to Republicans. It was a Democrat shutdown, and they need a distraction. So what do they go for? Epstein. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. We got some good news on the crime front in Chicago and some other places. We'll give you all that. We got some Clown World to start off with. Let me jump over here really quick. There we go. We got old Uncle Bill in the house. Real sweet. Jay Lynn, Tammy, Rob Wallace, Texas Bigfoot, El Ralphie. Let's see. Trina, hello. Susan, hello. Sugar Bear. Carol Burton's in the house. Let's see who else we got in here. Trina, how are you doing? Did I already say real sweet? Let's see. Let's go down here. Pixie, hello, Pixie. We got the cuss jar out. Mater TJ, how are you doing, sir? And some others are jumping in. Babos TTV, let's go over there on Twitch. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you all. Again, we're going to get into it today. It was kind of laughable. I had a doctor's appointment for an x-ray this morning. And so I was in the waiting room. Actually went fast, man. I was surprised. My appointment was at 8. And if you know me, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. So I got there 15 minutes early. I got there at like 7:45. I was out by 8:05. I was loving it. But the time I did get, I start looking online, and the Democrats have released some heartbreaking emails, and I just start laughing. I read the emails, and I'm like, wait a second. You got thousands of emails, and this is what you're trying to do to implicate Trump? Wow. And then I started looking farther and realized, oh, the victim that they blanked out her name, that we already have paperwork with her name on it, was Virginia Guffrey. It was just amazing. We're going to get into all that. We're going to show you the timelines of how all of a sudden Democrats are once again concerned about the Epstein files and calling Trump a rapist that he shouldn't be president. You guys will laugh. You guys will laugh. But first, we're going to get into some clown world stuff, guys. 12-year-old arrested in D.C. for committing a string of robberies. That's right. A 12-year-old girl in D.C. arrested for committing a string of robberies. This is just wild. Take a look at this one.
Suspect is just 12 years old. One of those robberies happening right here near the Noma Gallaudet U New York Avenue Metro station. Riders tell me as they get off trains that they can't believe that the suspect is 12 years old. Let's roll some video to show you more about these robberies. Police say the 12-year-old and a group of juveniles were out here on the 200 block of M Street Northeast trying to steal someone's bike but snatching their groceries instead and running away around 7:45 last Wednesday night. Around just 20 minutes later, someone is riding a scooter on the Metropolitan Branch Trail near the 1300 block of 2nd Street Northeast. Detectives say the 12-year-old girl and a group of juveniles grabbed the rider's book bag, stealing the scooter and a cell phone. And then this past Sunday, that's when police tracked down one of the suspects, that 12-year-old girl, charging her with all the robberies. People who live in the neighborhood are shocked that the suspect is so young.
God, where her mother at? Where this little girl mother at? Where they roll?
I'm sorry. Oh, you couldn't made that any better. I gotta cut just that out, get rid of the stuff, and we're gonna play that on videos. I'm gonna edit some videos, you know, like when you see like I'm sorry, but when you see some of these whack job leftists out there protesting, be like, "Where mom at? Where mom at?" I'm gonna play that again. That's gonna be my favorite part of today. Check it out. Oh, come on.
Suspect is so young.
God, where her mother at? Where this little girl mother at? Where they role models at? Where's the adults? That's the question we all trying to figure out.
It's a sad and unfortunate reality that we live in.
And tonight, police tell me that they are continuing this investigation, and they say that there are other juveniles who took part in these robberies. Well, if you have any information, call.
You know, what he said was 100% correct. And maybe not even a mother. Where's the father at? I guarantee you could probably bet $100 and win that it's a fatherless home that this child comes out of. We know the statistics. We've talked about it numerous times. What happens when there's not, he also mentioned role models, when there's not good role models in the home. But 12-year-old, multiple robberies. And I think we should all be, because there is a difference between boys and girls. I know that the Democrats don't think so, but most of the time when there's violent crimes, when there's robberies, it's typically somebody who is a male. This is a 12-year-old girl. I mean, gosh, I'm trying to think. My daughter's 19 now. 7 years ago, I don't even know if my daughter even comprehended what robbery was, to be honest with you. And she wasn't sheltered, but bad influence, being out on the streets, fatherless homes, all that will take message to that. B Mikey just gifted 5 subscriptions to the Oreo Express. Thank you so much, B Mikey. Thank you for your continued support. We love you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lee Bart got one. TJT1 looks like he'll get one as well. Sundown will get one. So thank you, B Mikey. I just I got to remember to cut and edit that out. That was just epic. Where the baby mama at? I tell you, we had some Clown World stuff to start off with. How about this? LAPD shot and killed a man who was reportedly swinging a metal chain at people and drivers in South LA. Now, I'm sure there's a leftist group out there somewhere that's protesting this. Well, I guess that all depends on his skin color, right? It says when officers arrived, they encountered the man armed with a chain and gave him commands to surrender, which he reportedly ignored. LAPD said they used 40 millimeter less lethal rounds in an attempt to get the suspect into custody, but it had no effect. Officers opened fire after the man reportedly continued to advance towards them. If that's the case, legit. The man was rushed to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Take a look at this. This is just some overhead aerial shot of that. We have, again, a mental health crisis, a drug crisis. We have so much going on, especially in California.
Police say they shot and killed a man who was reportedly swinging metal chains at people and drivers in. I'm Giovanna Lotta.
I'm David Ono. Officers opened fire this afternoon near Calmia and 103rd Streets. The man was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Police say his weapon was taken in for evidence. No officers or bystanders were hurt.
That's what happens, guys. That's what happens. Unfortunately. Did I cover the other? I don't think I played the other one yesterday. I don't think we had time in the show. There was another guy, naked guy, walking down the street and tried to get into one of these guys' neighbor's house and came onto his property or something. He was like an 81-year-old veteran. They interviewed him in his hospital bed because this guy jumped on top of him. He shot him a couple times, and he goes, I made sure the last shot killed him. I was like, yeah, hey, I ain't going to judge you, but your maker will, right? How about this? There's Jasmine Crockett is now saying she's running for Senate now that they've eliminated her congressional seat. But something's coming out recently. Fox News did a little article, little video about how much money Jasmine Crockett has been spending of campaign funds on luxury services outside her home district. And these are all per the FEC. Okay, $50,000 for security, $4,175 for the Ritz-Carlton, $2,304 for the luxury collection, $5,326 for the West Hollywood edition, $1,173 for the Times Square edition, $2,000 plus for Cosmopolitan and Aria Resort in Vegas, $2,703 for the Edgartown Inn, $160 for the Coco, $2,728 for Transportation for You limo service, $2,310 for DCA Car LLC, $1,254 for Bay Area Limousine. I mean, you guys remember it was about 3 weeks ago we covered the insurance commissioner here in California. He was going on cruises. He was doing all this stuff, living it up, while insurance rates in California just skyrocket, double, triple. Some people can't get insurance, and this man's living life like a damn rock star. Well, so is Jasmine Crockett, and I don't think this surprised anybody. She was bobbing her head as she was getting into that $2,000 limo expense. Take a listen to this.
The hog right now, and for a woman who is openly flirting with trying to run for Texas Senate seat, Senator either John Cornyn or whoever comes out of that primary, you are seeing a woman who's not spending an awful lot of time in Texas. That whole list of places she's been living high on the hog, I didn't see anything mentioning Dallas or Houston
Up in
or Laredo or Amarillo. Right. She's all across the country making sure that she is getting taken care of, that her nails look fabulous, and that she is sounding off however she wants to.
Man, diva. We got a diva over here. I tell you what, just what she spends in one town on transportation might be equivalent to a full 6 months of Oreo Army when we go out and we're actually doing things. That's crazy. But again, until all this changed, how about this one? We got to show you. Again, we're doing some clown world stuff, guys. This is what we're in. This is the way we're living. Oregon City Councilor Heidi Hoffman says her trans kid fled the U.S. after Trump was elected because it's not safe for LGBTQ people under Trump. Now, you can't find these hate crimes. They look for them. Like somebody tries to rob you and you defend yourself and you punch them and you get your wallet, your purse, your chain back. And that person was LGBTQP plus, whatever. That person is the victim. That was a hate crime, right? We've seen it time and time again. But what we have seen is school shootings. We've seen a lot of other things, Tesla fire bombings, all done by the group that she's saying is not safe. Let's take a listen to this.
"51%
Take that drink.
of transgender Americans say they want to leave this country. My child was one of them. My only child moved abroad after Trump was reelected. They moved abroad because they no longer felt safe in Seaside. They did not feel it was safe to remain here. I've been told that some members of this council find this topic too political. When did standing up for civil rights of our residents become too political?
Again, these are the people that have pushed. It was nothing about equality or anything else. It was about worshiping. It was about putting somebody on a pedestal, having complete months to honor these people and what they do in their bedroom and how they live their lives. Whether most of them, 99.9% of them have no accomplishments except they can go out and protest 24/7. They can firebomb buildings. They can sit there and tweet, spend their day on Blue Cry. And they want something special for her. You know what? I guarantee a lot of people, when she said that her daughter fled, people were like, that's what I voted for. Just insanity. Just insanity. There should be no violence from the left or the right. We've said this before. We need to be able to have discussions without it turning into violence. But that's not the way it works. And we know that the domestic terrorism, the violence that's coming, is majority coming from the left. Even left-wing media outlets have reported that. We had Charlie Kirk assassinated. We had the bozo leftist who thought he was going to shoot some ICE agents, another sniper shot. He killed 2 illegal alien detainees. But you know what? It's in and out of the news cycle. It's in and out of the news cycle. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Before I move on, don't forget, today is the day of the raffle. Come on, focus, camera. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. That don't happen very often. We have a raffle going on today. If you guys have donated since Monday, you got a little while to get in, but we are going to be doing a raffle. Every $10 donation you do to the Oreo Express gets you an entry. It's our way to kind of give back for those that have donated, give you an opportunity to maybe get lucky. And what that does is we have some items. And if you donate $10, you get 1 entry. If you donate $30, 3 entries. So for every $10 donation, you get an entry. And let me show you what those items are. I wish she would stop doing that. She comes in here. I set them on my seat. I got another seat over here. And Rachel came in here, sat down, and didn't put it back. I'm mad. No, let's see. Where did I put it? There it is. Here it is. So we got either the MAGA or the Trump light up hats. We got a Trump one as well. On the side, it says 45-47, American flag, and Trump on the back. Check that out. Let me show you this really quick. It's kind of cool. You want to talk about going out. I love it now. I'm not a big fan of it getting dark early. You guys know that. It's like 5 o'clock and it's already dark outside. You can't do anything, but I'm like, let's go to Old Town Close. Take a walk around and got the MAGA hat all lit up. It's beautiful. Also, Jan Garner, and say a prayer for Jan Garner. We're waiting for an update from Jan Garner here. Hopefully everything went well. So say a prayer for Jan. She donated some other items, which is a True Patriot Charlie Kirk flag. You get that flag. You get the Turning Point USA bracelets. And then you get a Trump calendar, because guess what? Trump is your president. And that's for 2026. And then you get 2 Christmas ornaments. Jesus is my savior, Trump is my president, and Daddy's home. So those items, if you guys want an opportunity to win, we appreciate you. Again, everything here is thanks to you guys, your subscriptions, your donations. We can't travel. We can't keep the lights on without you. And we want to say thank you. It is an absolute blessing. If you guys want to get in, we're going to be doing that drawing in the next show. You go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And the Venmo and the GiveSendGo are right there on the lower part. And then we also have Zelle. If you do online banking, mobile banking, our Zelle address is purepatriot559@yahoo.com. That's PURE patriot559@yahoo.com. Get in, get a chance to win, and we want to say thank you to everybody who's entered, and thank you to the moderators out there, and thank you everything. Hold on, there was something pinned and now it's gone. Old Uncle Bill said, Paul, I have 6 entries, I think. Question, how many should I buy right now? Helps Josh but reduces others' chances to win. Let's give Bill his answer. Give Bill his answer. And again, thank you, Bill. Thank you, Old Uncle Bill. We appreciate you. How about this? Newly elected Democrat Socialist Atlanta City Council, I was going to say counselor. Not a counselor. I mean, these are the people that are becoming a counselor. City Council. Kelsey Bond says we have a fascist in the White House. This is like places like Atlantic City and Atlanta City. I want you to listen to what she says.
In a democracy in the United States.
She admits she's a Democrat socialist, and listen to what she's upset about. She's upset about cities doing their job that they failed to do for a long time by cleaning up our voter rolls, because she knows with clean voter rolls, paper ballot, one-day voting, these people have no shot at getting into office. Take a look.
Are a democratic socialist?
Yes.
What that means for somebody who may not know or maybe even be afraid of that title.
Yeah, so to me, democratic socialism means the extension of democracy into all spheres of life. Right now, we're not really living in a democracy in the United States. We have fascists in the White House who are suppressing the vote. We're having voter rolls purged by our state government.
We have a fascist in the White House, and our voter rolls are being purged. All those dead peoples and all those illegals, they should remain on there, folks. And we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. Thank God, in a democracy, you have majority rule, and there's nothing to protect you. You have no rights, individual rights, and God bless. How about this? Katie Wilson for Seattle mayor posted this. We haven't talked a whole lot about the election since the election last week. It's been 8 days. She posted this yesterday, and I think this is important to know, because in Seattle, they're still counting ballots. Take a look at this. Let me put this up on here like this. Move this over. It says, wow, while we wait for the few remaining ballots to be counted, we feel like we have won this race. The recent drop puts us nearly 1,400 votes ahead, just under 0.5% threshold for a mandatory recount. So that was yesterday. You 1 week into the election, and then watch this. That's it. That isn't all. Her own teams, check this out. Her own teams of volunteers are who's doing the counting. It says our teams of volunteers will continue to do the vital work of curing ballots to ensure that everyone vote is counted. We all will know more tomorrow afternoon. We are so excited. Well, I wouldn't be excited that I had to wait over a week and not all the ballots are counted. What's going on in Seattle? This is West Coast states, man, I tell you. I know it happens in other places too, but no one's worse than California. Guys, I'm just going to tell you, we've been doing an election for a long time in this country. It's not that hard. Other countries do it with with paper ballots, and they know everybody who wins every seat that day. So in Seattle here, this woman, Katie Wilson for Seattle mayor, I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look at her page because I know it's going to be, I mean, she's literally leaning up against a dirty trash can. I just noticed that. Take a look at this. Oh, pull that up. Look. Like, of all the places to lean on, I don't know. Maybe it's a sign. Dirty, dirty, dirty. All right, so let's get into the big fiery storm. They got Trump. Finally, they got him, folks. They got him. New York Times posted this. And I'll put this up on the board. Breaking news. House Democrats released emails in which Jeffrey Epstein alleged that Donald Trump knew of the convicted sex offender's conduct and spent hours at my house with the victim. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Now, some of you would sit there and say, wait a second. This sounds familiar. Didn't we go over this? Yes, this is very old news, but let me explain something to you. The Democrats are getting hit really hard right now for shutting down the government, not paying our federal workers, not paying our air traffic controllers, not paying our TSA, taking food out of starving children's mouth by making sure that SNAP wasn't funded. And tonight, the government has a possibility of reopening. The Senate voted for a continuing resolution. It goes back to the House. That's expected to be voted on tonight. And once again, it won't be portrayed this way, but the Republicans will be heroes again. Even though I hate saying that because I'm not a fan of most Republicans. I'm a MAGA conservative. And so what do they do today? They want the distraction. Oh, we got to release the Epstein files now. We got to do that. Epstein. They didn't care. I'm going to play some stuff from last night. You wouldn't believe it. I got home from church last night, but we're going to go through this first. But my ADD's getting me ahead of me, so bear with me. Last night, I get home and I come into the office. I'm making sure, like I always do, that nothing's popping up. I'm working on some show content for today. And they're having a little hearing over there, and there's some Congress people there. And they're saying, you're trying to kill people. I mean, the same thing. They're still calling it the Affordable Care Act, even though it's the most unaffordable thing that I think we've ever enacted in this country. And so they need a distraction. Let me show you some of this stuff. And I'm going to show you the emails right here. Let's go. This is the Oversight Dems that tweeted this, guys. It says, Oversight Dems have received new emails from Jeffrey Epstein's estate that raises serious questions about Donald Trump and his knowledge of Epstein's horrific crime. You notice right there, they say he had knowledge of Epstein's horrific crimes. We knew that he had knowledge of Stone. That's why he kicked him out. Remember that? Early in 2011 to 2013, something like that. He actually worked with the FBI. Yeah, they don't tell you all this, but notice one thing it doesn't say. It doesn't say that Trump did anything wrong, that Trump broke any law, that Trump did anything with any of these women. None of that came out from the oversight committee because, again, they have their little libtard influencers, people that get paid by the DNC, people that spread fake news 24/7. We'll get into some of those people, but let me get into the emails first. How about this one? Let's pull this one up. This one was from Jeffrey Epstein to, it looks like, Maxwell. I want you to realize that the dog hasn't barked. The dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. And Maxwell says, I have been thinking about that. Okay. Wow, they got him now. How about this one? Let's put this one up. This is what everybody's sharing today. This is the talk of the town. So-and-so, Mar-a-Lago. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Maxwell to stop. We knew that. Jeffrey Epstein went to Trump's club and had some inappropriate conversations with young females there, and people felt uncomfortable. And you know what Trump did? Boom, you're booted. You're booted. So, oh my God, good job, Trump. Good job, Trump. These are breaking emails, guys. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys are sitting down for all this. This one from Michael Wolf. This is going to Jeffrey Epstein. Michael Wolf is somebody who's trying to, write a book, a publisher, and listen to the Get Trump story. This to me shows exactly the opposite what the Democrats are saying. He goes, this one says, December 15th, 2015. Michael Wolf wrote, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in scrum afterwards. Then it looks like the response, which was from Jeffrey Epstein. If we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Listen to this. I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, that gives you valuable PR and political currency. You could hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt, of course. It is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. So these are the emails. Now, did you hear anything you haven't heard before? I didn't. Now, that victim, the name they blocked out, has already been released on files. That was Virginia Guthrie. And we're going to get into that. This one says here, people were posting this. In one of the messages, Mr. Epstein flatly asserts that Mr. Trump knew about the girls, many of whom were later found by investigators to have been underage. In another, you see how they add stuff that isn't in the email? In another, Mr. Epstein pondered how to address questions from the news media about their relations, and Mr. Trump was becoming a national political figure. Are Democrats really this desperate? I'm asking a serious question. Look at this. This was from Rob Schmidt. He says, the usual clowns with more bullshit. The name of the victim Trump spent hours with was redacted by the Democrats. This was done intentionally. It's Virginia Giuffre. Her identity was unmasked by Republicans. Why did Democrats conceal her? Because Giuffre praised Trump in her book as having done nothing wrong. These people are animals. Look at, there it is. Virginia spent hours at my house with him. They covered up and put victim. Because they have nothing, folks. They didn't care under Joe Biden. They're just trying to make Trump look bad, get Trump. And it's just interesting. I used Grok to answer some questions because I wanted to know. Grok can go through her whole book and see what it says. It says encounters. These are some of the encounters that Giuffre had with Trump. And then it said, Giuffre expresses hope for the Epstein files release, indirectly tying to a Trump, but she explicitly clears Trump of involvement in her abuse. This is her own book, folks. And then it says broader context and contradictions. No allegations of abuse from President Trump. It says fact checks and reviews confirm Giuffre's account are benign towards Trump. Unlike her detailed claims against Andrew, example 3 assaults, including one post-massage where Maxwell said, "You did well. The prince had fun," talking about Prince Andrew. She received $15,000 per such service from Epstein. These emails that they released today were from 2011, by the way, folks. Just crazy. Now, let's go a little further. Rapid Response 47 put this out. It's all a tired con job to smear the presidents. Democrats redacted the victim's name because the victim said Trump couldn't have been friendlier and was a gentleman and that she didn't witness any wrongdoing. But what do you have? What do you have? We have no wrongdoing in the emails. You know, it's really interesting how clean Trump is coming out today. Here's another one. This is from the author Michael Wolff. And he put, there's an opportunity to come forward this week and talk about Trump in such a way that could garner you great sympathy and help finish him. Are you interested? How many of these emails went out in 2015, 2016? Remember? Oh, we got another one here, folks. We're going to get them this time. This person's saying this. It was emails like that that started all this. You're going to get paid pretty well. Did Trump touch you in maybe a changing room in a store? Well, we could say he did. All this, all the false allegations, CNN breaking news, is Trump done? But listen to that. There's an opportunity to come forward this week and talk about Trump in such a way that could garner you great sympathy and help finish him. That's what they wanted to do. And Democrats are still trying to do it, failing miserably. Now, I just want to show you what the libtards are putting out there. That had nothing to do with Trump doing anything wrong, right? Well, let's see how those people that are paid by the DNC, the leftist influencers, as you will, are pushing this. If Donald Trump had sex with a minor, he should not be president of the United States. That is all. Nothing suggests that, but you know that. You know that. That's why you worded it like that. Let's keep going because my whole feed, I almost couldn't even do half the show today because every Democrat was putting this out there. Just filling up the feeds today because that's what they want. They don't want you focused on the government's finally reopening thanks to Republicans, and Democrats refuse to fund SNAP, refuse to pay air traffic controllers, our TSA. They want your flights canceled. They want you to suffer. And so here's your distraction, folks. Let's take a look. Let's take a look what goes down the timeline. Oh, how about this one? Haters gonna hate. Trump raped young girls. Probably a bot account for the Democrats, but he did? Where did you get that? In those emails? Man, you're not even close to the lake and you're trying to fish. Let's see what else we got. And I'm just going down a regular For You on X. We're going to cover this earlier. They had the Make America Healthy Again Summit. We're going to cover that in the next show. Let's see. You have other paid influencers that pretended to be Trump supporters so they could bash him. Let's see. Let me hit this. Home of the Brave. You know what Home of the Brave is? This is the Fanon Political Action Committee. Have them ask my houseman about Donald Trump almost walking through the door, leaving his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool. And he was so focused, he walked straight out into the door. Now, I'm just going to tell you something, folks. Back in my days, I would have walked through the door, too, if I seen some hotties out in the pool. I ain't going to lie. You can ask Rachel. I was a dog. And I couldn't imagine what more of a dog I would have been if I was a billionaire. Nobody's ever claimed Trump's been a saint. Nobody wants to. Man's had multiple wives. Man's, back in the day, we used to say it. He was out big pimping a lot of times. I mean, remember the Access Hollywood tape? I just grab him by the... And Democrats like, oh my God, I can't believe anybody talks like that. Like, have you ever been in a men's locker room? Have you been in a bar at 11 o'clock with just some buddies? Especially single buddies that are out on the prowl? And they're sharing this stuff like somehow this is going to destroy Trump's presidency. They indicted him. There's mugshots. They lied about him constantly. They raided his house. They did everything they could. This is just a distraction. And it's only working on Democrats. Like, Democrats are the only ones really talking about that. Those, and then I think people that want clicks online. I'm just saying. Let's see what else here. See if there's any. Ian Omar says it's the Pedophile Protection Party. I mean, this is a person who is legally in the country. She committed immigration fraud by marrying her brother. Again, that's where my disappointment with the Trump administration is. I know there's some of you guys out there that might be a little bit moderate. And, well, he can't do that. That would look so bad. Those are the things we need to do. We have very limited time. Let's get to work. Deport that bitch. Pardon my language. How about Ron? Ron, on an account that he doesn't have me blocked. I guess we know why Trump, Bondi, and Patel and Mike Johnson have been covering up the Epstein files. I'm sure there's a whole lot more and a whole lot worse. They're pushing a narrative. That was Virginia Giuffre. She wrote an entire book and said Trump was a gentleman. She was interviewed extensively by the FBI. But Democrats have nothing. They have no policies. What policies? What policies have Democrats came out with that any average American can get behind? I'm saying the majority of normal, non-mentally ill people. They want men and women's sports. They want an open border. They want to put illegal aliens first. They want to tax the hell out of people to give people that decide not to work, able-bodied people that do not work. They want to give them everything. They want communism. You see Mamdani in New York. This is why they need this, folks. They don't need this because, oh, we're concerned. We want to protect the victims. Has nothing to do with that. Has to do with getting Trump. Making sure their party doesn't look as bad as it does. And it's failing big time. So, let me see something. Okay. I just got that. Thank you. Politics of idiocy. That's not my words. That is Senator Schumer. Back in 2013. Why are we releasing this today when they could have released it last week? They could have released it. We have all had this information. Maybe not the hard copy of the email. I think looking at some stuff, we even had these hard copy of the emails with the GOP Oversight Committee, but Democrats needed something today. And why? I'm going to show you a little reason why.
What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to not pay our bills unless I get my way? It's a politics of idiocy, of confrontation, of paralysis.
What'd you say? Let me refresh that really quick because I think he said it was idiotic to shut down a government.
What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to shut the government down? I'm going to not pay our bills unless I get my way. It's a politics of idiocy, of confrontation, of paralysis. What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to shut the government?
Exactly what he did. They had an election upcoming. They wanted people without food stamps. They wanted to try to blame Trump. They have legacy media on their side. They did get called out a few times, but if it was Republicans doing that, it would have been 24/7. We know this. They shut down the government. They stopped paying air traffic controls. They made sure that flights were canceled. And what do? Epstein email. It's laughable. It is laughable. You know what? While we're here, I want to move something forward here. I just love this. I had it later in the show, but we sometimes play the C-SPAN live calls, and I just thought this one was pretty epic. This is Democrat Sam Liccardo. I believe, where is Sam Liccardo? I'm not too sure. But listen to this caller on C-SPAN, and I want you to listen to Sam Liccardo's face. He wants to interrupt so bad. But this is what the American people know.
Who shut down the government? And you don't even answer it because I know who it is. It was a Democrat.
Let me refresh.
So let's put that to bed. Now let me ask.
He said it was a Democrat. Let's put that to bed.
To another question. I agree with Democrats on this. Public sentiment is in favor, probably on their side when it comes to subsidies for the ACA for the lower income people. I'm a retiree. I don't have ACA, but I have a hard time paying more taxes. I do well, but paying more taxes to subsidize people who are making more money than I am.
That's part of the problem with the Affordable Care Act. He's paying good. He's calling everything out. Hey, I want to help. And this is what we've been saying. I want to help lower income folks out. I really do. But there's people out there, business owners. Their business is making $2.5 million a year. And they're getting the Affordable Care Act subsidized by you, the taxpayer, because they want everybody on. Remember, single payer healthcare system. And look at this guy's face, man. Just let me refresh this. Look at this guy's face when it said,
shut down the government. And you don't even answer it because I know who it is. It was the Democrats. So let's put that to bed. Now let me ask you another question. I agree.
Look at, he nods his head. Yes, he wants to find a lie. He's got to find a way to contradict this. But listen.
And you don't even answer it because I know who it is. It was the Democrats. So let's put that to bed.
He nodded yes.
Now let me ask you another question. I agree with Democrats on this. Public sentiment is in favor, probably on their side when it comes to subsidies for the ACA for the lower income people. I'm a retiree. I don't have ACA, but I have a hard time paying more taxes. I do well, but paying more taxes to subsidize people who are making more money than I am.
So what do? That person doesn't sound like a Republican, to be honest with you. Maybe an independent. And he just called out this Democrat. They're not winning the battle, guys. So what do? Epstein. That's what they've been using for months now. And again, it's kind of like Russia at this point. Listen to this one.
Gavin Newsom called
it. I think Jaylen's still in here. She'll be excited about this one. John Fetterman went on The View and destroyed Sonny Hostin. I just love it. And John Fetterman's taken a lot of heat. There is people saying he should be hung and everything because he's been voting yes because he didn't want people to suffer over politicians not being able to agree on something. Bottom line. Watch.
It was a horrific mistake. Governor Gavin Newsom called it pathetic and a surrender. Poll after poll found more Americans on both sides of the aisle blaming Republicans. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene blamed the GOP. As you mentioned, Democrats had big wins last week, so you had momentum. Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight?
So what she's saying is that I was doing fine. I know I'm oppressed, but I make millions of dollars a year. I live in a mansion. Your shutdown was not affecting me. It was affecting these little peons that needed food stamps. It was affected air traffic controllers and TSA that had bills to pay. Why? You're one of us. You're an elitist. Why did you vote to refund all this?
Are you willing to gamble that the GOP will negotiate on health care in good faith once the government reopens? Because if that gamble is wrong, 500,000 Pennsylvanians that you represent, their health care costs will skyrocket if you are wrong. And I believe you are wrong.
Well, first of all, MTG is quite literally the last person in America that I'm going to take advice or to get their kinds of my leadership and values from. And now if Democrats are celebrating crazy pants like that, then that's on them. And now I don't need a lecture. I don't need a lecture from whether it's Bernie or the governor in California, because they are representing very deep blue kinds of populations. And a lot of those things were part of the extreme. And now remember, what really needs to win, the big win, is involving my state and other states and those things. And why have we arrived here after the election a year ago? We got to forget some of the things that cost us that election. Or now, for me, it's like, that's why I'm trying to remind people that kinds of the extremism, we can't return to those kind of things and realize we need to find a way forward. And I would like to, rather than cite MTG, I'm going to cite one of the new governor-elects saying that my election is not a green light to continue this shutdown, because I promise you, this isn't a political game. It is viewed by many of us, but the reality is 42 million Americans now not sure where their next meal is going to come from, and because we vote like that, or people that haven't been paid for 5 weeks now, and that kinds of chaos. Those workers have to borrow more than $500 million, from their credit union just to pay their bills now. So for me, we're in the middle of this.
Senator.
How stupid. I mean, Sunny doesn't know. I mean, she has to look in the mirror every day, and if she thinks she's smart, she is a dumb one. But what'd he say there? You wanted to continue 42 million people. And again, I agree, a lot of those people shouldn't be getting food stamps. Probably 75% shouldn't be. But it's the way the system's set up. We need to come together and fix that, right? But the way it is, what'd he say? He wanted to fund the people that were having to pay rent, go to their credit union. I mean, whether I like TSA or not, there's some good folks there that work there, right? They're just trying to make a living, folks. Just like you and I. And Democrats wanted to use them and hungry Americans as political pawns. So what do they do today? Epstein. But good for Fetterman. How about this? So Republicans are also triggering Democrats right now for a provision that they put into the CR. Now, if you know, we've covered, their phones were, quote, illegally tapped. They did the same thing to, 8 Republicans that they did to Trump by spying on their campaign, tapping their phones. So I want you to watch how CNN explains it.
Is expected to try to approve the Senate-passed spending package tomorrow. That would bring the shutdown to an end. But here's something to note. Lawmakers are not just voting to reopen the government, but they are also going to expand senators' ability to sue the United States government as well. That's because tucked into one of the spending measures that is expected to pass here tomorrow is a new provision that requires the Justice Department to tell Congress if it's investigating a lawmaker and if their personal information has been subpoenaed. Failure to do so could allow lawmakers to sue the government for up to $500,000. Notably, the provision is retroactive.
So they're upset about this. And again, I don't think this is the exact answer, but you had, was it Judge Boasberg? The ones that ruled against Trump on almost everything and then lost almost all of them in the Supreme Court on the obstruction and delay tactics of the Democrats. So what do we have here? They're upset that these people can sue the federal government for it's going to sound funny, it's popping in my brain like this, unwarranted warrants for phones. They were tracking these people. They wanted to get anything they can to utilize against them. Remember, the FBI, under the Joe Bidens, all the intelligence agencies, the DOJ, give me a person and I'll find you a crime. And they could do that with almost every single person in this country if they wanted to. I'm sure there's a crime you don't even know. You checked the wrong box on your taxes. You did this. You did that. And that's what they were looking for. So last night I told you I got home from church and then I see on Capitol Hill, there's a House Rules Committee meeting on funding bill to reopen the government. And all they kept saying in here over and over, well, I'm glad you guys are back from your 8-week vacation. They would have been back a lot sooner if you guys would have opened the government, but Mike Johnson said, I'm not bringing them back to discuss anything. They've passed the CR up to the Senate. We're not going to play your games. And so they were upset. But listen to some of this. I'm just going to show you.
Premiums were going to double or triple while the House was out of session for 50.
Thank you, Ms. Bonamici. Ms. Ansari, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome back from your 8 weeks of taxpayer-funded vacation. It's good to see you, and I hope
I'm going to interrupt you.
Republicans
I'm going to
enjoy-
interrupt you, please. I am sick and tired of hearing you all say we had an 8-week vacation.
That's exactly what happened.
I worked every day. I don't know about you, but I don't want to
worked
hear
every single
another
day as
soul
well. We all worked
say
every
that.
single day, and that's exactly what happened with Speaker Mike
Recognized,
Johnson.
you're recognized.
I hope that you all enjoyed yourselves while American families looked at their letters from their health insurance companies, terrified that their insurance premiums were going to double or triple while the House was out of session for 53 days. That is unacceptable, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Bonamici. Ms. Ansari, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome back from.
I just love it. And Robert B. over there on YouTube gifted memberships, 10 memberships. Thank you. Looks like Mary Beth, Carrie's Musings, Joy, Darlene, Comer, all you guys received. Vegas one, and Tina Murphy, Live, Laugh, Love, all received a gifted membership. Tell Robert B. a big thank you on that. Thank you, Robert B. We can't do it without your support, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's what keeps us going, and we appreciate you helping us on the platforms. That is, we can't do it without you guys, and thank you. So this was some of the things that were constantly being said. This wasn't a discussion of healthcare. We've had the government shut down for a long time, 41 days, 23 hours to be exact, while this was going on. And because the House was actually out where I think they should be more often. If you guys know, when we created this government, it wasn't for everybody to be in their plush little offices in DC. That was a part-time job, DC. They were supposed to be at home with their constituents in their communities, the people they represent. That's old. We haven't seen that in a long time, whether it's Democrat or Republican. And so there was some other stuff going on here. I want you to listen to this. Again, these people, they sounded horrible last night. I was pulling my hair out at this computer like 10 o'clock last night listening to all this.
In any event, that's fine. Let's talk about the last 54 days. So the speaker, he said something that was fascinating. I thought it was a really interesting quote. If I can find it. Here we go. Yeah, that was interesting. So the quote is, House Republicans are doing some of the most meaningful work of their careers. They're in their districts. I don't want to pull them away from that. You agree with the speaker's comments?
I don't speak for the speaker, but I don't disagree with him. Look, we're waiting for
No.
the Senate
That's
to
not the
do
question.
its job.
That's not the question.
No,
You answered it. You answered it.
I don't
Okay, so Chairman,
disagree with the speaker.
it sounds like you're saying that you agree with the speaker. Republican members were doing some of the most, quote, meaningful work of their careers during that 54 days. I assume you were here in Washington and back in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right? Did you have any?
Did several teletown halls.
Teletown halls. But you've done in-person town halls before. I know that to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? 54 days is a long time. Not one town hall?
Nope.
Did you visit any of the federal facilities?
Oh, I visited federal
your
facilities. I've done multiple meetings with chambers of commerce, Rotary clubs. It's been highly visible.
I don't know if you heard my colleague, Ms. Fishbach. She took great umbrage at this notion that, that Republicans were somehow on vacation. Did you make it down to the Mar-a-Lago Halloween party?
No.
You didn't get the invitation to the Gatsby invite? I don't know. It would be interesting. I don't know if any of her colleagues here on the other side of the dais.
You see what they're doing? Bickering. This has nothing. You got everybody there. You wanted to work, and you're wasting everybody's time because you're upset because you're trying to get your constituents off your back that know it was the Democrat Party that shut down the government. 13 times under Joe Biden, they passed a clean CR. Oh, it's Trump. We got to delay. We got to obstruct. We got an election coming up. Let's get our base fired up. Let's get that person that dresses as a furry out of their house and go vote. Why? Well, because they're not working. If we take away their food stamps, that'll get them a little energy to get up and do something. It's just absolutely insane what we're seeing. Listen to this one. Rep Jim McGovern. Watch this. We know Republicans didn't want SNAP benefits gone. They didn't want TSA, air traffic controllers. They didn't want any of those people to work without a paycheck. They knew the consequences of having Americans struggle. That was not the goal. Democrats did that. But listen to this.
And then giving your donors a fancy new ballroom at the White House while moms and dads food on the table.
So once again, let me clarify this. This was done by private donors. It wasn't done by private donors when Obama spent all kind of money at the White House, but Trump is doing all these improvements with donors and part of his money as well. Again, I guarantee Rep. Jim McGovern doesn't donate his whole salary like Trump does, but we won't talk about that.
And speaking of putting food on the table, Trump illegally withheld food assistance from 42 million Americans.
Actually, Trump didn't illegally. Who put a hold on that yesterday or the day before? When it went to the Supreme Court, it is still held up. They did release some food assistance to some states. I think everybody got it, but it was against a court order. Katanya Brown Jackson, the one that don't know the difference between a man and a woman, can't give you an answer on what a woman is. She, even as late as yesterday, put a hold on all that. Because all you got to do, Democrats, is open up the government. But instead, you wanted to make it a big issue to try to pin something on Trump. And it's backfired. So today, we get old Epstein emails. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Let's see. How about this one? Rep Roy.
Back to healthcare.
Rep Roy really quick. He went off.
The question that I would ask is this: should we be putting forward legislation that will continue to fund the insurance companies at the level they're currently getting, where 85% of their revenues are coming from the federal government? Because that's what's happening. Or that $35 billion are going to insurance companies last year to go to the people that weren't even using their plans. Is that what we should be doing? Is that the healthcare system that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are saying that must be addressed by virtue of subsidies to insurance companies? Because President Trump had it right last week when he said, well, if you're going to do these subsidies, which is not how we would prefer to do business, then shouldn't it go to the American people to be able to go into a market and go be able to get the doctor of his or her choice, or get direct primary care, or be able to figure out how to take care of their family rather than call an insurance bureaucrat who's pocketing the money through a system that our colleagues designed and broke, and for which not one single Republican ever voted, including the subsidies that no Republican voted for, that were created to be temporary by our colleagues' own voice. They were to be temporary during COVID. And we are now to extend the very subsidies that my colleagues are laying bare.
Temporary during COVID. It's almost like their temporary protection status for Haitians that's lasted 19 years.
The broken healthcare system that they created. I remember all too well in 2013 being on the floor of the Senate with Ted Cruz when we were raising the questions of what would happen when this system were implemented. Because the debate then was whether we should fund the implementation of a system that would end up bankrupting the average American family, as this system has done.
You shut down.
What I'm talking about is the reason. I'm talking about the reason that one would go to the Senate floor and say maybe we shouldn't do the very thing that right now is causing the American people pain.
15 years.
Because we talk about the constituents who are having pain. Yeah. How about my constituent who died last year, who couldn't go to MD Anderson because Obamacare doesn't cover it? Is that coverage? Is that the kind of healthcare system that people deserve? While insurance companies are pocketing extraordinary profits off the charge
years, and you haven't come up with a plan for health insurance.
And health insurance,
15 years.
Health insurance executives are minting money.
Oh, God.
minting money.
You hear her say, oh God, because that's all they want to do. They want to put the pockets, the people that say we need to go after the rich are putting in millions of dollars in the pockets of these CEOs of insurance companies. Think about that for a second.
On the back of dollars coming from federal taxpayers and the federal government. And then our colleagues on the other side of the aisle have the temerity to come here and complain about the system they broke. That's what we're actually dealing with here.
It's about repeal of the Affordable Care Act. That's what this is all about.
Or the extent to which you've got
With no replacement.
Is it our time?
Democrats can't keep their mouth shut. They know they're being made look bad right now.
The extent to which we are here because our colleagues know full well that this was a political exercise.
Oh.
To the chairman, we heard about SNAP. True or false, if we pass this legislation, will SNAP benefits proceed immediately?
Correct.
They could proceed.
So if we
between
pass this
now.
legislation tomorrow,
Now.
Yeah,
SNAP funding will continue immediately.
correct.
While our friends at the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue are trying to manage the funding of government, while our colleagues on the other side of the aisle have shut it down.
Again, there's a lot. And don't get me wrong, Republicans are to blame too. We've had Obamacare for how long? There has not been the Republicans come out. They have some plans, but they haven't put forth to get the feedback from the American people, feedback from their own colleagues. Again, I am not a fan of socialism by any stretch of the imagination. Do I believe we need to help out the needy? Absolutely. The Bible says so. Will that plan that he's talking about, that Trump, and I compared it to a health savings account that I used to have. Will that work? I think it will work for some. But one of the things we have to deal with is if you were buying a vehicle on average for $12,000 a year 16 years ago, and nothing's really changed except now that vehicle's $24,000, and you have the same amount of money to spend on that vehicle, you're not going to get that vehicle. We have to do something because that's what Obamacare did to private insurance and everything. Trump shared that graph of the profits of private our insurance companies that were getting Affordable Care Act money. And it was just crazy. This was a little while ago. This was this morning. Take a listen to Speaker Mike Johnson on this still.
Today. I want to apologize to the many American families. Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to come out and say that we believe the long national will be over tonight. It was completely and utterly foolish and pointless in the end, as we said all along. I just want to apologize to any Americans who are out there who still have flight cancellations or delays today. I want to apologize to the many American families who were made to go hungry over the last several weeks, our troops and other federal employees who are wondering where their next paycheck would come from. All of that's on the Democrats. Just never forget, they voted 15 times between the House and the Senate to close your government. And the Republicans tried every single day of the shutdown to open it. And we voted 15 times to do that. They have a lot to answer for. And I just want to say that we're very optimistic about the vote tally tonight. We think this is going to happen. And we're sorry that it took this long. So Republicans are going to deliver for the people. We're ready to get back to our legislative agenda. We have a very aggressive calendar for the remainder of this year. There'll be some long days and nights here, some long working weeks. But we will get this thing back on track. So thank y'all. Stay tuned for more tonight.
Speaker, do you have any reaction?
That's tonight. That is tonight. Let's pray that the government opens up. Now let's get into some of these other things that's been going on. We know Chicago and everywhere else has just been crazy, but we do have some good news on the Chicago front. Crime is down. We kind of covered it a little yesterday. Greg Bovino put out a tweet with those numbers. We're going to share that for you. Tell you about an arrest because, these people, you're being told that these people they're just your neighborly, lovely people. And Democrats are protecting the criminals, people that get arrested for numerous crimes. and there's an ICE detainer on sanctuary states, sanctuary cities, they are released back into the communities without ICE being notified so they can do their job. These people are in the country illegally. It is against the law to be in the country illegally. How about this one? Chief Michael Banks from the Border Patrol says, wanted for murder in Guatemala, arrested in Iowa. This fugitive from justice illegally entered the U.S. in 2019 and was ordered removed by an immigration judge. Another person that had their due process, folks. They say they don't get due process. Well, what happens once he got due process? They don't follow along with that. But instead of going back to Guatemala to face the consequences of killing someone, he hid out here for 6 years until U.S. Border Patrol dug around and found him living in Des Moines, Iowa. Now in ICE custody, he's awaiting deportation, and the people of Des Moines can breathe a little easier knowing this murderer is not in their midst. These stories are going on every day, and Democrats aren't, not one Democrat saying, hey, at least they got this out. This one was a great one. You want to talk about FAFO? Katie Davenport posted this. It says, just in, Border Patrol released a video announcing the arrest of an illegal alien who recently protested outside the ICE facility in Portland. Jesus Calatano of Mexico had mocked ICE agents in a video, saying, don't try to stop me because I'm not going to leave. Border Patrol agents conducted an operation using air systems and arrested Calatano. He is now in ICE custody, pending removal from the United States. Take a listen. There he is on a horse outside the ICE facility in Portland.
Este video es especialmente para la migra. No intenten detenerme porque no me voy a dejar. Me voy a despedazar en ese juguete si veo que me quieren detener.
A few moments later.
I think that's just sweet justice. Again, you're flying a flag. You love Mexico so much. And the United States is so gracious and so thoughtful. They're giving you a ride back home. FAFO, folks. FAFO. Let's see what else we got here. California, how about this? Secretary Sean Duffy, more of the non-citizen illegal aliens getting driver's license, not just driver's license. We know in California you can get a driver's license if you are an illegal alien, but they've been given a CDL license to truck drivers. It says, check this out. This is a tweet from Sean Duffy. California governor and his state were caught red-handed after weeks of claiming they did nothing wrong. Now that we've exposed their lies, 17,000 illegally issued truck licenses are being revoked. This is just the beginning. California must revoke every illegally issued CDL or I will pull $660 million in federal funds. That was in response to a tweet. I'm old enough to remember Newsom staff downplaying the severity of California's decision to ignore Secretary Duffy's emergency order to immediately revoke illegally issued license to foreigners just last week. Governor Gavin Newsom, this was, says lies, cosplay crispy and road rules Duffy can't keep their story straight. Here are the facts. Non-citizens are eligible for CDL. Christie and Sean should know that. Man, they're revoking 17,000. And he says this is just the beginning. That's what I voted for, folks. Again, these people, we're supposed to be doing jobs Americans won't do. That's why we need them. And we need 45 million to do those jobs, right? Maybe 50 million illegal aliens in this country. Maybe more. Think about that for a second. Man, I don't know about you. That's wild. How about this? I've been to this before. This is Border Patrol taking a picture in Chicago. I remember I was there with Ben Berquam and Will Johnson a few years back. We were doing something on a fake church. A fake church that was part of the man, I'm drawing a blank right now. What was the name of that church? Anyways, they operated in South America and Mexico, helping illegal aliens, pretty much aiding, harboring, and abetting illegal aliens into this country. But he shared this photo in Chicago, and that was all them out there. Not only is it Border Patrol, but it looks like there's a little ice on the ground too. This something to be proud of. We are here for you, Chicago. Since we've been here, crime is down. Homicides down 16%. Shootings down 35%. Robberies down 41%. Carjackings down 48%. And transit count down 20%. The United States Border Patrol is dedicated to making American cities safer, one deportation at a time. I think that's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I want to give some shout outs to some people that got into the raffle. We had our donations. Krista Rodman, thank you so much. Nola got in and Karen got in. Thank you guys so much for your donations. We appreciate you. Can't do it without y'all. It is an honor and a blessing, and I am working on making an announcement maybe later in the next show. I'm waiting. There's a reason why I want to possibly go down, rent a car tomorrow, and go to Portland. We told you they're having the Patriot Weekend there, but I'm not raising funds for that yet. I'm waiting for confirmation that we can go. Something else that I can't control, and I'll be getting into those details later. But so let's just pray everything goes well. I got to make a phone call. But I thank you for everybody who's entered. And I believe, let me look at this before we move on. Woo. My email hasn't updated since 7:30. Hold on. Can't believe I didn't check my email this morning. I've been better at that. Let me check this out. And then we got some gifted, hold on. We got some gifted ones from OUB. Thank you. And we'll go through all that. And in between the shows, I'm going to be doing that. We have a raffle coming up in our next show. So if you guys want to get in, it's for the light up MAGA hat and the items, the Trump calendar, two Trump ornament, or a Trump ornament. Jesus is my savior. Trump is my president or ornament, a flag, and a Turning Point USA bracelet donated by Jan Garner. Thank you, Jan. And again, continue prayer for Jan. I haven't got a message from her, but let's pray everything went well and she's doing well today. So let's move on here and check this out. So that was in Chicago. Listen to what the Chicago mayor has done this week. It's Wednesday, folks. It's Wednesday. There was an audit that found $1.3 billion in waste. What do you think the mayor did? Blame corporations for it? Maybe. Want more money from taxpayers? Maybe. This is insane. No wonder his approval rating, I think, right now is 6%.
What do you hope comes out
He is absolutely worthless.
of these? What do you hope comes out of these EY hearings today? And what do you think will happen? What will Alderman find money on the table?
Well, I mean, I can't, I'm not going to predict. I think I would much rather predict whether or not the Bulls' losing streak will end tonight. If there's any way, if Wemby could come here but decide he doesn't want to play, look, Wimby, why don't you just sit this one out tonight? Look, what's going to come out of the report is that, first of all, that folks are going to see why we made this investment. That's the big thing. We put forth this investment that some had some trepidation around, which, sure, I mean, I get that. But we've already demonstrated that we're willing to implement the very ideas that came from this report. I just hope that they spend, the same amount of time in this EY report, also looking at how corporate interests are continuing to get away without having to pay their fair share in taxes. I think all of it requires our attention at this time, but I'm, grateful that so many aldermen are as meticulous as they are under my administration.
$3 million audit that found $1.3 billion in waste. And $1.3 billion in waste, guys. And what does he say? I just hope they go after the corporations. Oh, man, how do these people get elected? This was out last night. I believe last night. Let's see. November 12th. Yep, last night. This is from Right Side Rebel out there in Portland. And again, I got to make a phone call and figure something out because I got some issues with my, that I got to do with the doctor. I don't know if I can leave yet. And once I find out if I can leave, hopefully today, I will let you know. It says last night outside the ICE Portland facility, a few arrests were made. It says, I recognize one of the individuals, the same woman I saw earlier in the week throwing rocks at federal agents' vehicles as they left the compound. Others crossed the blue line onto federal property and tried to interfere with arrest. They cry victim, but the truth is simple. There are rules and they choose not to follow them. Watch this.
Yes, yes. Oh, they got it! They got it! Yeah! Get him, boys! Get him!
Probably shouldn't have crossed the line.
That is so fun to watch. That is so fun to watch. These people deserve an FAFO moment. Let's see. More good news on the crime front. We have our federal law enforcement officers are deployed in large numbers in multiple cities. Even though it's not being advertised, it's just like even Chicago, the FBI went there months in advance with their partners, with DHS, to start working, getting the intel they need, find out who the organized crime people were so that when they get a surge, they can arrest things. This one is an incredible victory right here. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced that 150 illegal alien child predators and sex offenders have been caught in Florida under Operation Dirtbag. Not just children, not just sex offenders. They targeted children committing sexual assault, battery, and attempted homicide. These are the people that
across
Democrats
the
are
country.
standing
These
up
individuals should have never been in our country to begin with.
This is
the
why
fact
your
that they were sexual deviants.
This is why your
amazing.
SNAP benefits were shut down, is because they wanted to give health care to these people right here for free and make you pay for it.
This operation was called Operation Criminal Return. I call it Operation Dirtbag because these individuals were sex offenders, but not just sex offenders. They targeted children. So sexual assault, battery, attempted homicide. These 150 individuals will be gone off of our streets. Our kids will be safer. And this partnership with Governor DeSantis in Florida is a model that we want to replicate across the country. These individuals should have never been in our country to begin with. The fact that they were sexual deviants and perverts, and now we've gotten them off of our streets, it's remarkable, and we need to do more of it. Amazing. This operation was called
absolutely incredible. That's what I voted for. I don't care if it's just 150. Those people were abusing children. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. So make sure, guys, if you're going to get in, I would get in. We have a raffle going on. We are doing it in the next show, so you don't have much time to get in. We have the light up MAGA or Trump hat, whichever one you choose. And you could set it to like 7 different settings. This one's on flash right now. The Trump one has the same settings. Oh, I turned it off. All on. Kind of a fade. Hold on. I did turn that off. My monitors are so, let me do something to my monitor right here. My monitor. There we go. That's kind of cool right there. MAGA. So those are one of the items. And then you have a truck. This is the stuff Jan donated. Ooh, let's see. We got 2 Christmas ornaments, a Trump's Daddy's Home, a Jesus is my Savior, Trump is my president, a Trump calendar. Let me hit this. There we go. Trump calendar. 2026 is coming. A Turning Point USA bracelet, and also a flag, Charlie Kirk Patriot flag, a true patriot Charlie Kirk flag. If you guys want an opportunity to get in on that and help us out, once again, you guys know every $10 donation gets you 1 entry. If you do $30, that's 3 entries. You can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army. We also have givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And as always, we have, if you do mobile or online banking and you want to do a Zelle transfer, our Zelle address will be provided on the screen right now. I will go through all this and get my will and name set up right now. Our next show will be in 3 hours and 27 minutes, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you put your notifications on. If you haven't followed, follow us. Thank you for everybody who gifted subscriptions, all the mods in the chat. You guys make us roll. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you here shortly. Here comes those links right now. Have a good afternoon.
The Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's free.